Meditations. Author, Emperor of Rome Marcus Aurelius. Modern English translation, October 6, 2023. Introduction. In the vast tapestry of history, few individuals have cast as profound a shadow as Marcus Aurelius Antoninus. His life, a remarkable fusion of wisdom, leadership, and contemplation, is a testament to the transformative power of philosophy amid the grandeur and chaos of ancient Rome. Born in the year 121 AD to a distinguished Roman family, Marcus Aurelius' early years were marked by privilege and promise. Little could have foreseen that he would ascend to the highest office in the Roman Empire, assuming the throne in 161 AD. His reign, spanning nearly 2 decades, was a crucible of leadership marked by daunting trials, from wars and plagues to political tumult. But it wasn't just the weight of imperial responsibility that defined Marcus Aurelius. Throughout his life, he was profoundly influenced by Stoic philosophy, a school of thought that championed self-control, rationality, and virtuous living as the essence of a meaningful existence. The teachings of Stoic philosophers, including Epictetus and Seneca, became his guiding light, molding his worldview and anchoring his principles. As he grappled with the multifaceted challenges of governing an empire that spanned vast territories, cultures, and religions, Marcus Aurelius turned to Stoicism for solace and strength. Meditations, his collection of personal reflections and philosophical musings, was his sanctuary. Within its pages, he explored profound questions about the transient nature of life, the importance of inner peace, and the moral imperative of ethical conduct. During his philosophical exploration, Marcus Aurelius was also a keen observer of the spiritual and philosophical diversity of his era. The Roman Empire of his time was a crucible of faiths and beliefs, including nascent Christianity. His encounters with these various ideologies enriched his understanding of human experience, fostering an environment of open-mindedness and respect for diverse worldviews. The life of Marcus Aurelius Antoninus, the philosopher-emperor, is a testament to the enduring relevance of philosophy in the affairs of humanity. It serves as a reminder that true greatness lies not only in wielding power but in embodying virtue and relentlessly seeking self-improvement. His legacy, encapsulated in Meditations, continues to inspire and illuminate the paths of leaders, thinkers, and those who seek wisdom amidst the complexities of life. It stands as a testament to the profound impact of a man who ruled an empire while never ceasing to explore the depths of his own soul. In the words of Marcus Aurelius himself, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Chapter 1. Self-reflection and virtue. From his grandfather Verus, he learned gentleness, patience, and the ability to control his anger. From the memory of his father, he learned modesty and manly behavior. His mother taught him to be religious, generous, and to avoid not only doing evil, but also intending it. She also taught him to be content with a simple diet and to avoid the excesses that wealth can bring. His great-grandfather taught him the value of education, both in public schools and from private tutors, and that he should not hesitate to invest in it. He also talks about his upbringing, his avoidance of partisanship in the circus or the amphitheater, his ability to work hard, his preference for doing things himself, and his refusal to engage in gossip. He learned from Diognetus not to believe in superstitions or to get involved in frivolous activities. He also learned from Diognetus to appreciate philosophy and to tolerate others' freedom of speech. Rusticus taught him that his life needed improvement. He also learned from Rusticus to avoid the trappings of sophistry, to focus on substance over style in his writing, and to avoid ostentation. He also learned from Rusticus to write straightforward, unpretentious letters, to be forgiving, and to be a diligent reader and thinker. From Apollonius, he learned about true freedom and unwavering firmness. He learned to always act according to reason, even in the face of great pain or loss. Apollonius also taught him how to accept favors from friends without feeling obligated to them, but also without seeming ungrateful. From Sextus, I learned the virtues of gentleness and the model of a family governed with fatherly affection. He taught me to live in accordance with nature, to be serious without pretense, to understand my friends' various dispositions, and to tolerate those with less understanding. He showed me how to engage with all types of people and situations, maintaining a demeanor that was both pleasant and respected. He was a man who never showed anger or any other passion, yet was able to observe the Stoic principle of emotional detachment while still being deeply compassionate. He was well respected, yet humble, highly educated, yet never boastful. From Alexander the grammarian, I learned to strive for faultlessness in myself and to avoid criticizing others for their linguistic mistakes. Instead, I learned to subtly correct them by using the correct form in my own speech or writing, without drawing attention to their errors. From Fronto, I learned about the envy, deceit, and hypocrisy that a tyrannical ruler is subject to, and how those who are born into nobility can sometimes lack natural affection. From Alexander the Platonic, I learned not to frequently or unnecessarily say or write "I am not at leisure." He taught me not to neglect my duties to friends and acquaintances under the pretense of being too busy. From Catullus, I learned not to dismiss any friend's criticism, even if unjust, but to work to restore our previous relationship. He taught me to speak well of all my teachers when the opportunity arises, and to love my children genuinely. My brother Severus taught me to be kind and loving to all members of my household. He introduced me to the works of Thrasea, Helvidius, Cato, Dio, and Brutus. He inspired in me the desire for a fair society, governed by justice and equality, where the well-being of its citizens is paramount. He also taught me to be generous, to always hope for the best, and to trust in the love of my friends. He was honest with those he corrected and made his desires clear to his friends. From Claudius Maximus, I learned to strive for self-control in all things and not to be swayed by external influences. He taught me to be cheerful and brave in the face of sudden changes or illnesses, to value gentleness, moderation, and seriousness, and to complete my tasks thoroughly without complaint. He was a man of integrity, who spoke and acted with good intentions, was never in a rush yet never slow, and was always ready to do good, forgive, and speak the truth. From my father, I admired his gentleness, his unwavering commitment to his decisions after careful consideration, and his lack of vanity in matters of honor and dignity. He was hard-working, always willing to listen to others, fair in his judgments, and knew when to be strict or lenient. He avoided inappropriate relationships, was not demanding of his friends, and was consistent in his actions and decisions. He was thorough in his examinations of matters and patient in listening to others. He took great care to maintain his friendships and never treated his friends with contempt or excessive affection. His contented attitude in all things, his cheerful demeanor, his foresight, and his ability to handle even the smallest tasks without causing a fuss were admirable. He also suppressed all forms of flattery. He was diligent in overseeing government affairs, keeping track of public expenditures, and he patiently accepted criticism for his strict management style. He was not superstitious, nor did he seek to please people for personal gain or popularity. He was level-headed, focused on what was appropriate, and not a fan of new trends. He used his wealth for comfort without showing off or being ostentatious, yet he did so freely and without pretense. He enjoyed these comforts without worry when they were available and did not miss them when they were not. He was never praised for being exceptionally learned, overly accommodating, or a great speaker. Instead, he was respected as a mature, well-rounded individual who couldn't stand flattery and was capable of governing both himself and others. He respected all genuine philosophers without belittling those who were not. He was sociable and pleasant to be around, but never to the point of being tiresome. He looked after his health moderately, not out of a desire to live a long life or to be overly meticulous about his appearance, yet he did not neglect it. He rarely needed medical treatment due to his own care and foresight. He was open-minded towards those who had unique skills, such as eloquence, legal knowledge, or understanding of ancient customs, and he made sure they were recognized and valued for their expertise. Even though he faithfully followed the traditions of his ancestors, he did not want people to notice that he was emulating them. He was not easily swayed, preferring to remain consistent in his actions and responsibilities. After suffering severe headaches, he would bounce back to his duties with renewed energy. He had few secrets, and those he had were related to public affairs. He was discreet and moderate in providing public entertainment and constructing public buildings for the people's enjoyment. He did not seek glory in these actions, but rather aimed for fairness and the common good. He never used the baths at inappropriate times, was not a prolific builder, and was not overly concerned about his food, clothing, or anything related to external appearances. He was always polite, respectful, and patient in his interactions, never rushing or causing stress. He was able to enjoy and endure both abundance and lack, demonstrating strength when most people would show weakness and moderation when most people would be excessive. This kind of resilience and self-control is indicative of a person with a strong and unshakable spirit, as he demonstrated during Maximus's illness. I am grateful to the gods for giving me good grandparents, parents, a good sister, good teachers, good servants, loving relatives, and almost everything I have. I am also grateful that I never acted hastily or rashly towards them, despite my nature that could have allowed for such behavior. It is by the God's mercy that I was not put in a situation that could have led to such mistakes. I am grateful that I was not raised for long by my father's concubine, that I preserved my innocence during my youth, and that I did not rush into manhood, but rather delayed it longer than necessary. I am grateful for being under the guidance of my father, who taught me humility and discouraged me from seeking glory. He showed me that it's possible for a prince to live without excessive security, extravagant clothing, grand statues, and other symbols of wealth and power. He taught me that one can live simply, almost like a commoner, without losing effectiveness in matters requiring authority. I am grateful for having a brother who encouraged me to self-reflect through his actions and who brought joy to my life through his respect and love. I am grateful for having children who are both respectful and physically healthy. I am grateful that I didn't excel in rhetoric, poetry, and other fields that could have distracted me from my duties. I am grateful that I was able to promote those who raised me to positions they desired without making them wait for future promises. I am grateful to have known people like Apollonius, Rusticus, and Maximus. I have had the opportunity to meditate on the nature of life and what it means to live according to nature. I believe that I could have started living this way much earlier, but my own lack of attention to the guidance of the gods was the only thing holding me back. I am thankful that my body has remained strong throughout my life, and that I was able to avoid unhealthy relationships with people like Benedicta and Theodotus. Even when I was infatuated with someone, I was able to recover quickly. I am grateful that even though I often disagreed with Rusticus, I never did anything that I later regretted. I am thankful that my mother, despite dying young, spent her final years with me. I am also grateful that whenever I wanted to help the poor or those in need, I was never told that there was not enough money to do so. I have never needed such help from others. I am thankful for my wife, who is obedient, loving, and honest. I am grateful that I was able to choose capable men to educate my children. I have even received help through dreams, which have guided me in stopping my nosebleeds and curing my dizziness, among other things. I am grateful that when I began studying philosophy, I did not fall into the trap of sophistry or waste my time reading the works of ordinary philosophers. I did not get caught up in solving arguments or studying natural phenomena. All these things could not have happened without the help of the gods and fortune. In the country of the Quadi at Granua, I remind myself every morning that I will encounter people who are idle, ungrateful, abusive, deceitful, envious, and unsociable. These negative qualities stem from their ignorance of what is truly good and bad. But I understand the nature of good and bad, and I know that these people are my kin, not by blood, but through our shared reason and divine nature. Therefore, I cannot be harmed by them or harbor ill will towards them. We are all meant to work together, like parts of a body. To oppose each other is against nature. I am made up of flesh, life, and reason. I must not let my mind be distracted by other trivial matters. I must think of my body as nothing more than blood, bones, and skin, a complex network of nerves, veins, and arteries. My life is like a wind, constantly changing. As an old man, I must not let my reason be enslaved by irrational desires or fears. I must accept whatever fate has in store for me. Everything that happens is either directly caused by the gods or as a result of nature and the interconnectedness of all things. Everything is necessary and contributes to the whole, of which I am a part. What is good for the whole is also good for each individual part. The preservation of the whole is achieved through the constant transformation of the elements and the changes in composite things. These principles should guide me. I must abandon my desire for more books so that I can die at peace, without complaints, and with gratitude towards the gods. Summary of Chapter 1. In this chapter, Marcus Aurelius reflects on the importance of self-awareness and the pursuit of virtue. He emphasizes the need to examine one's actions and thoughts to align them with principles of morality and reason. One famous quote from this chapter is, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts."